Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Thursday's Tackle Topic. Today, I want to talk about building a boat. I think that once we're all born, of course, we're born into whatever circumstances our parents are currently in. You may have parents who are struggling and flopping around in the ocean. You may have parents who have built a yacht. But one thing you know for sure is you are born into the boat that your parents already possess, or the circumstance that your parent already possess. Okay. So as you begin to grow up, you want to push the limits, explore the boundaries. You want to see what life is like on the outside of that boat, right? And so you may, jump into the water, and based on what you learned when you were in that boat or lack of boat, because you may be born into the open water without a boat and have been taught to survive your whole life without knowing what it's like to, thrive, which I equate having a boat to thriving. Okay. And so you may again been taught only how to survive, and your family may have never built a boat, and you may decide to explore the waters away, or your family may have had a boat and you decided to abandon the boat and go out into the open waters with what you have learned and gained from your family. The whole point is open water is very dangerous. You are exposed to the weather, the elements, you're exposed to what's in that water, you're exposed to other boats. There's so many dangers lurking about in the water. And it's just so volatile that you really just don't want to be in survival mode your whole life. So your best bet is to figure out, how can you build a boat? How can you build a boat to shield you from the roughness, the harshness of the water? How can you find a way to build the boat? Therefore, you're floating on the water and you're in a spectator view, uh, because you're no longer just surviving. You're at the point of thriving where you have peace, enough peace where you can become a spectator, look around and see what's really going on, to see if you could find some land. You can't really see the land as easily when you're in the water. In the boat, depending on especially how big the boat is, it's easier to spot land. So how do you build a boat? If you're in the water and you're just thrashing around, how do you build a boat so that you can move from surviving to thriving? And I would say it comes with, doing the inner work, because you already have a boat inside of you. What you're doing is just pulling that boat out of you so that it becomes like a shield, it becomes like a safety net, it becomes something that shields you from the harsh realities. And so you want to go internal instead of grabbing at the boats that's passing you, or life rafts that's in the water with you, or trying to build human structures so y'all can float together. Which are all external examples of how to solve the problem. The best way is to go inside yourself, and pull out all of the infinite resources that you have, including your boat. Right, you'll start to see the boat take form, piece by piece, and then one day you'll wake up and realize that you're in a full boat, and you have self-actualized your way to thriving, right? And so from there, you can make the choice. You really just need a boat to protect you from the waves. Some people want a bigger boat. Some people are just okay with a little, lifeboat. So it just depends on what you want. But regardless of what type of boat that you have, it doesn't stop there just because you were able to build you a boat amongst the wave, or in the ocean, or in the deep, or in the open water. It doesn't stop there. Although now you are a spectator and have the luxury of observing other people and being a spectator, and now that you can thrive instead of just survive, you have to realize that that there will be other boats that pass you by, that make waves, that will get water into your boat. You'll have other people grabbing at your boat. You yourself will pick people up and put them in your boat who do not belong there, right? especially since everyone has their own boat. And so there's so many things that can happen. You're watching others suffer, and it doesn't really feel good to watch other people suffer. And sometimes you get a little bit too close to the suffering, and it puts water in your boat. And as we all know, a boat does not sink because of the water outside of the boat. A boat is meant to float on the water. It sinks because of the water that gets inside of the boat. So when you start taking other people's, minding your business outside of just being a spectator, and taking other people's problems with you, or getting close enough where they can grab at your boat because they hadn't figured out how to make theirs, or they can throw water in your boat because they're splashing around as you're moving through, or bigger boats come and create waves that put water into your boat. Your goal now is to stay focused internally so that you're always constantly scooping out that water, putting it back where it belongs, into the ocean. Water does not belong in your boat regardless. And what you'll know is, always being on the water, there isn't an instance where you won't be required to put to get the water outside your boat and put it back into the ocean. You will always be required to do that until death. And so that's doing the work, that is working on yourself, that's growing, that's developing, that's being mindful of the present moment and what it is offering you and what it's bringing, and the lessons that you can learn from it. And so it is in your best interest to not chill once you get your boat. And it's up to you if you want to build a bigger boat, but I think it's best to spend your time just focusing on where you want to go, setting sail to where you want to go, and being a spectator on everyone else's experiences, including the ways, which are the trials and tribulations that may get into your boat, and scoop them out and put them right back to, put it right back to the source that it came from, or at least put it back in the ocean. So I want us to be mindful when we're thinking about how we're operating in life, how we're maneuvering in life. If we are in the open water just flopping around, or if we have at least built a lifeboat for ourselves. And I want you to think about, if you're putting someone in your lifeboat, of course, um, boats can hold multiple people, but you want the person to have their own boat and maybe dock and come onto your boat, but you don't want them to live on yours, right? Because then it's an ownership problem. So everybody needs to be able to own their own life experiences and be able to share with other people, but also be able to guard their boat, or their existence or their experience enough to be aware of what is helping and what is hurting, and always be prepared to solve your own issue. So, although you may spend your whole life in a safe boat and sailing towards your destination, and you may reach it sooner than later or later than sooner, uh, the goal is to always focus on staying afloat and keeping your boat afloat and reaching your destination. The gag is, regardless, there's always a hole in your boat. There's no way to not have a hole in your boat. This is a human experience, which means it's a shared experience. What happens to one person happens to you indirectly, because we're all one. And so the gag is, you'll always have a hole in your boat, but as long as you are aware of the hole, you're grateful for the present moment, and you use your present moment to improve your circumstances, to improve your experience, to improve the quality of your life. You want to meet your destination again before you go. That's ultimately the goal. To me, you want to find land. You don't want to spend your whole life out on open water. That's, to me, what retirement is about. You want to find land so you can have a little bit more security before you're out of here, because again, we only have one life. And so, please, what do you think about this metaphor? Are you out in open water? Do you have a lifeboat? Do you have a yacht? Are you constantly focusing on scooping the water out of your boat back into the ocean? What techniques do you use? How did you build your boat? Were you born into a boat? Were you born into open water? Many of us are born into open water. So How did you build your boat? If you learned to build your boat, how did you do it? How do you maintain it? Do you know your destination? Do you consider yourself more in a spectator role? Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Please share with me below. I would love to hear what you think, and where you are now in your experience and how you think about life, and if you think that it's possible for you to build the lifeboat and have a quality life without a destination. So I hope this helps, work life warriors. Please share with me your thoughts and comment below. I love to hear them. And I will see you on next week's Thursday's Tackle Topic. Have a great day.